Hey everyone, and welcome back. Today we're diving deep into something I know many of you are curious about.
Oh, yeah.
Choosing online Quran classes.
Interesting.
We'll be looking at this insightful article from Hafizon Academy.
Okay.
It's called How to Choose Online Quran Classes, with a subtitle, How to Choose the Right Online Quran Academy, Essential Tips and Guide.
Gotcha.
It's packed with advice on finding the perfect online Quran Academy. And honestly, it made me think about how much learning has evolved. I mean, who would have imagined studying the Quran with someone across the world?
It really is remarkable how technology has opened up these incredible learning opportunities.
Sure.
And this article really emphasizes making sure you're getting the best possible online learning experience.
Exactly.
Whether it's for you or for your children.
Yeah, it's not just about finding any online class,
No.
right? It's about really understanding what makes a quality program
Absolutely.
and finding one that's the perfect fit for you or your child.
Exactly. And that's what I think is so great about this article.
Okay.
It emphasizes the importance of understanding your needs and goals
I see.
before you even start browsing platforms.
So before you even start looking,
Yeah.
what should we be thinking about?
Well, you really want to ask yourself what you're hoping to achieve through these classes.
Okay, so what are your goals?
Yeah. Are you looking to just improve your recitation
Okay.
or gain a deeper understanding of the text?
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe even memorize the entire Quran?
Wow.
There are so many possibilities.
That's like setting out on a road trip.
Oh, yeah.
You need to know where you're going before you can plan the route.
Absolutely.
I love that analogy.
It's all about having that clear destination in mind.
Makes a lot of sense.
And then the article delves into this fascinating world of learning styles.
Learning styles.
Yes.
Now, I've definitely heard these terms before.
Yeah.
Like visual learner,
Right.
auditory learner, but I'm not sure I fully understand what they mean.
Well, let me give you an example.
Okay.
Imagine you're learning a new surah.
Okay.
A visual learner might find it helpful to see the verses written out.
I see.
Maybe even with some diagrams or illustrations to help them grasp the concepts.
Mm-hmm.
They might also find it beneficial to watch videos of recitations.
Okay.
Or even create their own visual aids.
That makes sense.
An auditory learner, on the other hand, might thrive on listening to recordings of the surah,
Okay.
repeating the verses aloud,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe even setting the verses to a melody to aid memorization.
I think I'm more of a visual learner.
Oh, yeah.
I love taking notes and using highlighters.
Absolutely. And then you also have kinesthetic learners.
Okay.
These learners really learn best by doing.
Ah.
So they might benefit from physically writing out the verses,
Okay.
practicing tajweed with their hands,
I see.
or even engaging in physical activities that connect with the meaning of the text.
So the article is saying that choosing a class that matches your learning style
Yes.
can make a huge difference.
Absolutely. It's all about setting yourself up for success.
This is really eye-opening.
I know, bro.
And we're just getting started.
This is just the beginning.
So we've got our goals.
Right.
We've figured out our learning style.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's time to dive into the huge world of online Quran platforms.
Exactly. And there are so many options out there.
Oh, I bet.
The article breaks them down into different categories, like live interactive sessions versus pre-recorded lessons,
Okay.
and one-on-one tutoring versus group classes.
Wow, it's a lot to consider.
It is.
It's almost like choosing a school.
Exactly. You want to think about the class size,
Right.
the teaching style, the curriculum.
There's so many factors.
So many factors, just like you would research a school's reputation before enrolling your child.
Right.
It's crucial to do your research on these online platforms.
I see.
The article really highlights looking at reviews,
Reviews, okay.
both from parents and the learners themselves.
So what are people saying about their experiences?
Yeah, are there consistent themes or any red flags that pop up?
You'd want to know if a platform is known for having engaging teachers,
Exactly.
a good curriculum,
Right.
and a supportive learning environment.
Absolutely. And don't just rely on online reviews.
Okay.
The article also recommends reaching out to people, you know?
Like personal recommendations.
Yeah, who have experience with online Quran classes.
That makes sense.
Getting recommendations from people you trust is so valuable.
It's like getting a referral from a friend.
Exactly.
You value their opinion.
Because you know they have your best interests at heart.
Okay, so we've done our research.
Right.
Checked the reviews.
Yes.
Got some personal recommendations.
What's next?
What's next on the checklist?
Now comes the super important part, evaluating the quality of the program.
Ooh,
This is where the article goes into some great detail.
I'm ready.
All right, so what should we be looking for when it comes to quality?
Yeah, what makes a program stand out?
The article lays out 3 key areas: curriculum standards, interactive teaching experience, and cultural sensitivity.
Interesting.
And it explains why each of these is so important.
Let's break those down.
Sure.
Let's start with curriculum standards.
Okay.
What does that even mean when it comes to online Quran classes?
Well, think of it this way. You wouldn't send your child to a school without a solid math program.
Right. Of course no.
Curriculum standards are all about making sure that the program is covering all the essentials.
Okay. The fundamentals.
Yes. Does it include things like proper recitation techniques, tajweed rules, and understanding the meaning of the text?
It's about making sure there's a solid foundation.
A strong foundation, just like building a house.
Exactly. You need a good foundation to support everything else.
And then we have the second area, interactive teaching experience.
How do you even make online learning interactive?
It's all about going beyond just listening to lectures
Okay.
or watching pre-recorded videos.
So
You want to look for platforms that have interactive elements to keep you engaged.
like what kind of things?
Think about quizzes,
Okay.
virtual discussions, maybe even projects or group activities.
That sounds a lot more fun than just passively listening.
It's about making it dynamic.
I like that.
And then we have multimedia,
Oh, yeah, like videos and things.
educational videos
Okay.
that can bring stories of the prophets to life.
I see.
Interactive simulations that help you visualize the Hajj pilgrimage.
Wow.
Even using animation to explain complex grammatical concepts.
So you're really bringing the online classroom to life.
Making it a multisensory experience.
And speaking of making it personal, how can we make sure that the classes take into account different learning styles?
That's where personalized learning plans come in.
Ah, okay.
This is something the article really emphasizes.
Okay.
It's all about acknowledging that each learner is different.
Right.
They have their own unique style, their pace, and their goals.
So it's not a one-size-fits-all curriculum.
Not at all.
So what would that look like?
Well, imagine a platform that provides a visual learner with colorful charts and diagrams
Right.
alongside the text,
I see.
while an auditory learner might receive recordings of beautiful recitations
Interesting.
to help them with their memorization.
And technology makes this all possible.
Technology is really changing the game.
It's like those personalized recommendations you get on streaming services.
Exactly.
It's adapting to individual preferences.
There are these sophisticated learning management systems
Wow.
that can track a student's progress, pinpoint areas where they might be struggling,
I see.
and even suggest personalized learning activities.
So it's almost like having a virtual tutor.
Exactly. Tailoring the learning experience just for you.
That's amazing.
It is.
But at the end of the day, it's the teachers who make it all come together.
Absolute. You're so right.
No matter how advanced the technology gets,
Yeah.
that connection between a teacher and student
It's irreplaceable.
is so important.
And that's why the article stresses the importance of vetting teacher credentials.
Okay, so don't be shy about asking about their background.
Right. Ask about their educational background, their experience teaching the Quran, and any certifications or training they've had.
It's like checking a teacher's resume.
Exactly. You want to feel confident in their qualifications and experience.
Is there anything else we should be thinking about from a practical standpoint?
Wow.
One word,
Okay.
technology.
Yes.
Online Quran classes obviously rely on technology,
Of course.
so make sure you're set up for success.
What does that mean?
We'll check if the platform is compatible with your devices,
Okay.
make sure you have a stable internet connection, and see if there's any specific software you might need to install.
It's great that technology makes learning so accessible,
Right.
but sometimes it feels like there's always something else to download.
Yeah, it can be a bit overwhelming, but most platforms have resources or support teams to help you out.
That's good.
And speaking of practical matters, oh yes,
We can't forget about budget.
the financial side of things.
Yes, online Quran classes, like any form of education, do come with a cost.
That makes sense.
The article really encourages you to think about tuition fees,
Okay.
payment plans, and refund policies up front.
It's like budgeting for anything else.
It is. You want to make sure it's a sustainable investment.
You don't want to get started and then realize you can't afford it.
Right. So plan ahead.
Okay.
Choose a program that aligns with your budget.
Before we move on, there's one more tip from the article that I thought was super clever.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about.
Trials and feedback.
Yes.
I love this idea.
It's brilliant.
It's like test driving a car before you buy it.
Exactly.
How does that work with online Quran classes?
Well, many platforms offer free trials
Okay.
or demo classes, and you should definitely take advantage of these.
What a great opportunity
It is.
to get a feel for the platform, the teaching style,
Right.
and the overall learning environment. It's a risk-free way to see if it's the right fit for you or your child.
Absolutely.
What should we be looking for during those trials?
Pay attention to everything.
Oh, wow. Okay.
How does the platform work?
Okay.
Is it easy to use?
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel comfortable interacting with the teacher?
I see.
Does the teaching style resonate with you?
And if you're choosing classes for your child,
Yes,
get their feedback too.
absolutely.
They're the ones who are going to be in the virtual classroom.
Exactly. Their insights are so valuable.
Okay, so we've gathered all this information
We've done our research.
about our needs,
Mm-hmm.
the platform,
Yeah.
the teachers,
Right.
the technology.
Now you're ready to make that final decision?
Wow. It's amazing how much there is to consider.
I know it's a lot, but it's worth it to find the perfect fit.
So we've reached this point. How do we actually make the final decision?
It can feel overwhelming,
Yeah.
but remember, there's no perfect platform. It's about finding the best fit for your individual needs and circumstances.
So how do we narrow it down?
Well, the article suggests making a list of your top choices
Okay.
and then compare them side by side.
So like a pro-con list?
Exactly. Write down the pros and cons of each platform based on everything we've talked about.
So does it match my learning style?
Yes.
Does it fit my budget?
Right.
Does it offer the flexibility I need?
It's like creating a scorecard for each platform.
I love that.
That way you can really see how they measure up against your criteria.
And if I'm choosing for my child,
Yes.
I should get them involved in the decision-making process.
Absolutely. Talk about the options together. Show them the platforms.
Mm-hmm.
Make them feel like they're part of the journey.
That makes them feel invested.
Exactly. And it creates excitement from the very beginning.
Choosing the platform is just the first step.
The real journey begins once you're enrolled.
And actively engaged in the learning.
Exactly.
So it's not just a set it and forget it situation.
No, continuous evaluation is key.
I'm a little unclear on what that means.
We'll definitely delve deeper into that in the next part of our deep dive.
I can't wait.
It's going to be good.
This has been really insightful.
I'm glad to hear that.
We've already learned so much about choosing the right online Quran classes.
It's been a great discussion.
Before we move on to continuous evaluation, is there anything else we should keep in mind?
One of the biggest takeaways from the article
Okay.
is that this is a personalized journey.
It is.
There's no one-size-fits-all approach.
It's about finding what works for you or your child.
Exactly.
And that's such an important message,
I think so too.
especially as we move forward
Yes.
and explore this journey of learning and growth.
I'm excited to see what we uncover next.
Welcome back, everyone. I don't know about you, but I'm already feeling much more informed about choosing online Quran classes.
Me too.
Before the break, we covered a lot of ground,
We did.
from identifying learning styles to checking those teacher credentials.
It was great.
We've laid a really solid foundation,
Yes.
but now it's time to build upon it.
Exactly.
And remember how we talked about continuous evaluation
yes.
being so important for a successful online learning journey?
Absolutely.
But to be honest,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not really sure what that looks like
Okay. Yeah.
in practice.
Well, think of it like tending a garden.
Okay.
You plant the seeds,
Yeah.
but you don't just walk away.
Right. You got to take care of them.
You need to water them,
Yeah.
give them sunlight,
Right.
make sure they're growing strong.
So
Continuous evaluation is all about nurturing that learning process.
I love that.
It's a good analogy.
So what are the gardening tools we need for online Quranic education?
Well, one of the most important tools highlighted in the article
Okay.
is using interactive teaching methods.
Interactive teaching.
Yeah,
That sounds fun.
it is.
What are some examples?
So picture a virtual classroom
Okay.
where students are using a digital whiteboard together
Okay.
to work on identifying tajweed rules.
That's cool.
Or maybe they're playing an online quiz game to memorize Quranic verses.
That sounds a lot more engaging than just sitting and listening to a lecture.
Right. And think about multimedia.
Like videos.
Yeah, educational videos
Mm-hmm.
that bring the stories of the prophets to life.
I see.
Interactive simulations that let you experience the Hajj pilgrimage.
Wow.
Or even animations to break down complex grammar.
You're really making the learning come alive.
It's about making it an experience.
And we've talked about different learning styles.
Right.
So how do online classes make sure to address that?
That's where personalized learning plans come in.
Personalized learning plans.
Yeah.
The article really stressed this.
It did.
So it's not just a one-size-fits-all curriculum.
Definitely not.
How would that work?
So let's say you have a student who's a visual learner.
Okay.
The platform might give them access to charts and diagrams right alongside the text.
I see.
And then maybe you have an auditory learner. They might get recordings of recitations.
That's so cool how technology can do that.
Technology can personalize everything these days.
It's like those recommendations you get on streaming services.
Exactly.
They suggest things just for you.
And there are these advanced systems called learning management systems.
Learning management systems?
Yeah, they can track a student's progress.
Wow.
Figure out where they're struggling.
Okay.
And even suggest activities just for them.
It's like having a virtual tutor.
It is.
That's amazing.
But even with all this amazing technology, the teachers are still the ones who bring it all together.
Absolutely.
You're so right.
That human connection is so valuable.
And that's why teacher training is so important.
We talked about that a little before.
Yeah.
But what does that training actually involve?
Well, think about it. Teachers need to know how to use all these new online platforms.
Okay.
How to navigate those digital whiteboards we talked about.
Right.
How to incorporate multimedia.
It's like they're becoming tech experts.
They are. Wow.
And it's not just the technical side.
What else is there?
They need training on how to design engaging lessons for the online world.
That makes sense.
How to create that feeling of community, even though students might be all over the world.
That's important.
And how to give feedback.
Okay.
That's both effective and encouraging.
Teachers really have a lot on their plates.
They do.
But teachers aren't the only ones who play a role in this, right?
You're right.
This article really emphasizes the importance of parents.
Especially for those younger learners.
Parents are so important.
They really are.
What can parents do to help make this whole online learning experience better?
Well, one of the simplest things, but also one of the most helpful, is to create a dedicated study space.
A special spot for learning.
Yeah, a quiet corner free from distractions with all the supplies they need.
Like what?
A comfortable chair.
Okay.
Good lighting. Maybe even some inspiring Islamic art on the walls.
It's setting the stage. It's for focused learning.
And just like athletes have training schedules.
Oh, yeah.
Parents should create clear routines for online learning.
So set specific times for lessons.
Yes.
Make sure your child logs in on time.
Right.
And be consistent.
Exactly. It's about bringing structure to that online environment.
Just because it's at home doesn't mean it should be less structured.
And don't forget to communicate.
With your child.
Yes. Talk to them about what they're learning.
Okay.
What are they enjoying? What's challenging?
Right.
Where do they need extra help?
Keep that conversation open.
Exactly. And talk to the teacher, too.
Okay.
Share what you're seeing at home. Ask questions.
Okay.
And work together to create that best possible learning experience.
It sounds like we're all on the same team here.
We are.
Parents, teachers.
Right.
All working towards that same goal.
I like that.
And the article also had some fun suggestions for parents.
Oh, really?
Beyond just the practical stuff.
Like?
It suggests having family Quran recitation sessions.
Oh, that's nice.
Where everyone takes turns reading.
I love that.
Or playing games.
Games?
Yeah. Islamic-themed board games.
That sounds fun.
That reinforce what they're learning.
So it's not just about studying.
Exactly.
It's about making it a family experience.
Make it enjoyable for everyone.
It's beautiful how technology can bring families together.
It is.
Even if they're far apart.
You know, as we keep exploring this world of online Quranic education, it's important to remember that technology is just a tool.
A tool?
And like any tool,
it
can be used in different ways.
We have to use it wisely.
Absolutely.
And thoughtfully.
To create those really engaging and impactful learning experiences.
I like that.
And speaking of using technology thoughtfully.
Okay.
Let's talk about how we measure progress.
Okay.
And make sure that students are reaching their goals.
Evaluation and assessment.
Yes.
It's one thing to have engaging lessons.
Right.
And personalized plans.
Yeah. But how do we know it's working?
Exactly.
That's where we need tools and strategies to track progress, to make sure learners are on the right path.
And thankfully, the online world has lots of options.
It does.
So are we just talking about quizzes and tests here?
Well, those are part of it.
Okay.
But it goes beyond that.
Okay, so.
Imagine platforms with interactive exercises.
Okay.
And simulations.
Okay.
Where learners can apply what they've learned.
So it's not just about memorizing.
Right. It's about really understanding and using the knowledge.
And what about feedback?
That's important too.
How does that work in the online world?
Teachers can use technology to give personalized comments.
I see.
on a student's recitation,
Right.
their tajweed, and their understanding of the text.
And how do they give that feedback?
It could be written notes,
Okay.
audio recordings, or even live video sessions.
So many options.
Whatever works best for the learner.
And the article also talked about self-assessment. That's important too.
It is.
But how can that work online?
Well, some learning management systems.
Those systems we talked about.
Yes.
Okay.
They actually have self-assessment features built in.
That's cool.
Students can track their own progress,
Okay.
set their own goals, and even figure out where they need extra help.
It's like they're taking charge of their learning.
Exactly.
Okay.
And teachers can help too
Also.
by asking good questions, encouraging students to share their thoughts,
Okay.
and creating that classroom culture where self-reflection is valued.
So you're building those skills.
Yes, the skills they need to be successful learners.
And this all ties back to that idea of personalization.
It does.
We keep coming back to that.
Recognizing that each learner is different.
And they need a learning experience that's tailored just for them.
It's that personalized approach combined with technology.
And the guidance of those amazing teachers?
Exactly.
That makes online Quranic education so promising.
It's an exciting time to be part of this.
I agree.
There's so much potential here.
To create amazing learning experiences.
For people of all ages and
It
backgrounds.
really is inspiring.
It is.
I think it's time for us to take a short break.
Okay.
But when we come back, we'll explore some of the ethical considerations
Interesting.
and future trends in the world of online Quranic education.
Sounds good.
Stay tuned. Welcome back. It feels like we've been on this amazing journey exploring online Quranic education.
It has been quite a deep dive.
We've covered so much.
Yeah, from learning styles to those interactive teaching methods.
It's been fascinating.
But before we wrap up, I think we need to touch on some of the ethical considerations.
Oh, yeah. The ethical side of things.
Because technology is such a powerful tool,
It is.
and we need to be sure it's being used responsibly.
Especially with something as personal and meaningful as religious education.
Exactly.
A lot of people are concerned about data privacy these days.
Yeah, for sure.
How can we make sure student information is protected?
Well, I think transparency is key.
Transparency.
Platforms need to be really upfront about what data they're collecting,
Okay.
how they're using it, and who they're sharing it with.
That makes sense.
And they should always get informed consent from parents and students.
Informed consent.
So everyone understands how their information is being handled.
That's really important.
It is.
It's about building that trust
Right.
and making sure learners feel safe and respected online.
Absolutely. And, we've talked about how online Quran classes can help people all over the world.
Yeah, breaking down those geographical barriers.
But what about the people who don't have access to technology
Oh, right.
or reliable internet?
That's a big issue.
It is. And we can't let the digital divide create even more educational inequality.
So what can we do about that?
Well, we need to make sure everyone has access to affordable internet.
Okay.
Maybe partner with community centers that offer free Wi-Fi.
I see.
And even consider creating offline learning resources.
For those who don't have a reliable connection,
Exactly.
it's about making sure everyone has the opportunity.
To learn.
I want to look ahead now
Okay.
to the future.
What's on the horizon?
What trends do you see emerging in this field?
Well, one trend that I'm really interested in
That
is the use of artificial intelligence.
AI and Quranic education.
Yes.
Wow, that sounds futuristic.
It does.
What would that look like?
Imagine AI-powered tutors
Okay.
that can listen to a student recite and give them feedback on their pronunciation
Wow.
and their tajweed.
Or AI that creates personalized learning plans.
Exactly, based on each student's strengths and weaknesses.
It's like having a 247 virtual teacher.
That's the idea.
But what about that human element?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Are we going to lose that connection with a real teacher?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think AI should never replace human interaction.
Right. Teachers are so important.
They are.
They bring so much to the learning experience.
It's about finding that balance.
Yeah. Between technology and the human touch.
Exactly.
Using technology to make things better.
But still keeping that teacher-student connection at the heart of it all.
I like that.
And there are other exciting technologies, too.
Oh, like what?
Virtual reality
Okay.
and augmented reality.
Wow, that sounds cool.
They are...
How would those be used?
Well, imagine putting on a VR headset
Okay.
and suddenly you're transported to Mecca.
You're experiencing the Hajj.
Yes. Or using AR to interact with Islamic calligraphy or architecture.
It's like bringing those things to life.
It is.
That's amazing.
It's about creating a multi-sensory learning experience.
And really engaging with the material.
Exactly.
This is all so inspiring.
It's an exciting time.
I'm really excited about the future of online Quranic education. But before we get too carried away, let's come back to the key takeaways.
Yeah.
What are the most important things our listeners should remember?
Well, remember that choosing online Quran classes is a personal journey. There's no right or wrong answer.
It's about finding what works for you.
Or your child.
Take the time to understand your needs.
Yes.
Do your research.
Find the program that fits.
And don't forget about continuous evaluation.
Keep learning, keep growing.
It's an ongoing process.
Exactly.
And technology can be a powerful tool.
It is.
But it's the human element that really matters.
The teachers.
The parents.
The students.
They're the ones who bring it all to life.
I love that.
Well, it's time for us to wrap up our deep dive
I've enjoyed this.
into the world of online Quran classes.
Thank you for joining us.
We hope you feel empowered
to start your own learning journey.
Keep seeking knowledge. Keep asking questions.
And keep diving deep.
See you next time.